Philosophy. It's one of the most important disciplines around, if you ask philosophers. Yale's home to one of the philosophers, Shelly Kagan, who agreed to speak with me since I excelled in his class. Should I call you Professor Kagan, or should I call you a Philosopher King? Or...
Shelly is actually what I prefer to be called.
Shelly. Okay. Would you say that Socrates was the Plato of his time?
What would that mean exactly?
Could it have been that Socrates wasn't asking questions, but rather that he just had upspeak? He ended his sentences like a question, but they weren't really?
The style of Socrates' questioning changes. So by the end, you have Socrates talking, and saying, right?
Sort of goes on, doesn't he?
Does go on.
Kind of sounds like he's just high. He's like, what does any of this even mean?
From another kind of perspective, it shows that people who think these things are obvious are not really recognizing just how little they understand.
I think that's a really interesting point.
Socrates comes from the ancient Greek word Socratic, which means of or relating to Socrates. Socrates was one of the ancientest Greeks. He was born in olden times and lived there until he died at the age of old. He was known for his big bushy beard, blank eyes, and white, almost stone-like skin. In the Socratic method, the teacher guides the class by asking questions. Before Socrates, this technique was known as lazy. Socrates was known to feign ignorance while asking questions, to point out weaknesses in another person's argument, like an apple.
Socrates is such an inspiring figure. Lived a long, happy life. Was it a cold, or what was it that got him?
He's poisoned. He's condemned to death for corrupting the youth of Athens. There's a poison, it's hemlock, and on the last moments, he drinks the poison and dies.
I didn't know that. Okay, I wanted to ask you about the trolley problem.
Sure. This is an example that was originally dreamt up by a woman philosopher.
Woman philosopher?
Oh, yeah.
My husband lets her do that? Woman philosopher. Will you write that down, Betty?
There's a train. It's headed down a track. But the brakes are broken. So if you do nothing, the 5 get hit and killed by the train. If you throw the lever, the 1 gets hit and killed. What is it that you are permitted to do morally?
Do I know who the person on the tracks is?
Let's suppose they're all strangers.
Is the person on the tracks my sister?
No, they're all strangers.
Is the person on the tracks annoying?
All equally annoying.
Is the person on the tracks my sister and she's being annoying?
Probably. The reason she's being annoying is because you keep treating her like a stranger.
Is the lever really heavy? Because I'm not really strong. I mostly work glutes and abs.
Oh yeah, we can replace it with a button. You just have to go boop.
Is it like a nice trolley, like an Amtrak Acela with a cafe car?
You're not on the train.
I like the Lay's chips. It's not my sister.
Okay, at this point everybody's dead.
Have they arrested this man who keeps tying all these people to the trolley tracks?
He's at large, that's right. He's at large.
Thank you for calling Amtrak.
Trolley problem. It seems like something Amtrak should know
In
about.
our inventory, we only have trains and across the country and some buses going certain routes.
You don't have any.
So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a trolley would probably be like your local city transportation.
Okay.
We don't have nothing on trolley.
Thank you, Travis. I'm relieved to hear that there are no trolleys.
Were you satisfied with the overall experience with the team member you worked with today?
Yes.
Say yes or press
Travis
one.
was great.
No,
Yes. Yeah.
You're one of the world's foremost ethical experts. Let's say I have this friend. She offers me a bite of her sandwich.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sure. Then she Venmo requests me for an eighth of her sandwich.
Okay.
But like, I'm like, I've seen your house. Like, you don't need to Venmo request me for $2. Am I in the wrong? Am I being crazy? Am I in the wrong? Am I in the wrong?
Are you in the wrong? She could be a jerk and insisting on the $2, but it might be that if she does insist on it, you should give it to her.
It might be. Kantianism holds an absolute prohibition against lying, even if there's a murderer at your door.
Yeah.
From a Kantian perspective, do you like my hair bow?
So it's interesting that you use the word Kantianism.
I feel like you don't like my hair bow.
And no, I'll get to your hair bow in a moment. So you got to distinguish between the views of the
I feel
dead
like you don't
man
like my hair bow.
and the philosophical
like my hair?
the philosophical view
He's filibustering because he doesn't like my hair bow.
that Kant put forward. It does not trivially follow from Kantianism. I'm glad you removed it because it's really an appalling hair bow. You got to distinguish between the philosophical views that follow from Kant's position and Kant, the dead man. You look much better, Bjorn, with your hair down like
Thanks.
that. All right. So I don't think it follows from Kantianism that it's wrong to tell a lie under any circumstances. In terms of your hair bow, you look better with your hair down.
Thank you. When I Googled you, the first result was Shelly Kagan death, which was very concerning. But it turns out you just teach an online course about death that has been streamed by millions of people worldwide, most of whom are alive.
Yeah.
Death is one of the most permanent, it's one of the permanentest things you could do.
Yeah.
You could say death is the herpes of life.
No, you shouldn't say that because herpes will not kill you.
But it never goes away.
It never goes away. Death never goes away. In that sense, but your tattoo's never going to go away either.
You might get it removed. Now, you talked about the size problem in death, and Betty says she wants me to turn that into innuendo, but Betty, I don't want to do that.
No idea what that one meant.
You say in your course that people have no soul. Is that everyone? Or is that just people I've happened to date? No, that's just a joke.
Yeah, exactly. But apparently,
It's just
but your sister apparently doesn't have a soul, and that's why she's so annoying.
No, I love her. It's just one of those,
And then I think you owe her an apology. I want you to look into the camera. What's your sister's name?
Kara.
Dawn? Okay.
Kara, girl, return my texts. Or I would pull the lever to save you, and I'd kill those 5 people, and I wouldn't care.
Was that her hair bow that you wore?
No, that's mine. That's
She's
from
got
Shein.
She's got better taste than to wear a hair bow. Yeah. Okay.
I designed my own thought experiment.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm going to tell you a quote, and you tell me whether it's Socrates or Taylor Swift.
Okay.
The unexamined life is not worth living.
Okay. That's Socrates.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beauty is a short-lived tyranny.
Okay, I'll remember that from Socrates. I'll vote Taylor Swift.
That's Socrates.
Really? Is that from the symposium? What's that from?
SocratesQuotes.com.
Okay.
Sometimes I feel like everybody is a sexy baby and I'm a monster on a hill.
Well, that's certainly Socrates.
That's Taylor Swift.
No. In the symposium, I'm pretty sure Socrates says I'm a sexy baby. I mean, there are questions about how to translate the word beauty and sexy from the ancient Greek, but Taylor Swift has probably been reading the symposium. Yeah.
I feel like you're telling a joke, but I have problems with tone. This is the next one. You are somebody that I don't know.
Okay.
But you're taking shots at me like it's Patron. And I'm just like, damn.
So-
7 a.m.
Okay.
I can keep going.
Okay, that's a quote.
End of quote. Well, there's more.
That's a lyric? I mean,
You just need to take several seats and then try to restore the peace and control your urges to scream about all the people you hate. 'Cause shade never made anybody less gay, so uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. This one could be Socrates or it could be Taylor. You are somebody that we don't know, but you're coming at my friends like a missile. Why are you mad? When you could be glad. You could be glad.
What was the line? Nobody knows who I am. I don't know anybody. Blah, 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 blah.
You just need to take several seats and then try to restore the peace
But you see, the
and
thing
control of your
is, we
urges
don't
to
have
scream about all the
melodies
people you
for
hate.
ancient Greek lyrics,
know that.
right? Because we did not have how musical notation. We don't know how to read it. Now, I'm really torn, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's Swift.
It was Taylor Swift.
Because my friends know that what I really care about is my ability to identify contemporary pop culture
I feel like
references.
you're making fun of me.
I am making fun of you. Plato wasn't just a brilliant philosopher. In terms of the ability to kind of capture our imagination and make us feel, never been matched.
Sort of like the Taylor Swift of philosophy.
It depends. Will we still be singing what was it? In 2,500 years? Ask me then. There are still Swifties, is that what they're called? If there are still Swifties in 2,500 years, then Taylor Swift
Could
made
Plato
a comparable
do the Eras tour?
Taylor Swift do the Dead Athens tour?
Could Plato date Travis?
Do you think that this is all a left-wing conspiracy? That he's going to propose to her on national TV and she'll say yes, vote Biden.
Did Plato do that?
Could Plato have done that? No.
So you admit it.
That Swift can do things that Plato cannot do. That's right. That is so. You got me there. That's so true.
We held our breath to see our names are written in the wreck of 86.
Are we still doing the Who Wrote This stuff? What's the wreck of 86? You don't know.
Well,
you do know. Do you know? You're not telling.
That's why it's a game.
Can I have a hint?
No. We held our breath to see our names are written in the wreck of 86. That was the year I knew the panic was over. Is that Socrates?
Socrates actually was a soldier during certain wars that Athens was involved in, but they wouldn't have had any kind of, I don't think the year of 86 that would have been, so I'm going to vote for Swift.
It was Ellie Goulding from Anything Can Happen.
I have no idea who that person was you just mentioned, but I'm guessing they're contemporary.
Ellie Goulding, she's a contemporary Australian.
Okay, so I'm off only by 1 billion people, but on the other hand, I'm correct within 2,500 years. I actually am remarkably poorly educated. Virtually everything I took was either philosophy or religion. I know almost nothing about anything. You could do Shakespeare versus Beyonce, and I wouldn't have the slightest idea. You could
If you
do.
like it, then you should put a ring on it. Macbeth. Out damn spot, put a ring on it. Can you run me through the argument by Descartes?
Descartes?
What?
Descartes. Descartes. That's how it's pronounced. Descartes. Sorry. Go ahead.
Was he the one who copied Billie Eilish when he said, "I think, therefore I am"?
Yes. By contemporary standards, he'd have to be brought up on plagiarism charges, but since he wasn't an academic, he was safe.
Contemporary happiness is a somewhat modern invention. Does it trace back to Happy by Pharrell, or does it go further?
I don't know the song.
Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy, clap along. A room without a roof? Honey, that's a courtyard.
Okay. And so happiness is like the courtyard? I seem to remember being happy in the late 80s.
I suppose it's not really an empirical question.
No, actually, it's an empirical question. What was the first time anybody was happy?
There's literally no way to know.
Is that true? That there's literally no way to know?
There's literally no way to know.
I heard you say that. I mean, actually, it's an intriguing question. What's the first time people have? I mean, look, you look at photographs.
Every old photo, they're always like.
That's right.
And also, they're all in black and white, which is a very somber filter.
That's right. Have you seen the movie Pleasantville?
I have not.
You should take a Pleasantville out of wherever one can take movies out these days.
Blockbuster.
And Blockbuster still exists.
You said in a talk with the Veritas Forum, what we should do with our life is try to make things better. Can you think of a way to monetize that?
If ethics was a really easy matter, if we had an answer to the trolley problem and an answer to the question about
cars,
about death, the answer to the trolley problem is cars?
Cars.
Cars?
Cars.
Cars. C-A-R-S. Cars.
Yeah.
That's going to solve the trolley problem?
Mm-hmm.
You may be interested in the opinion of a former colleague, Alan Wood. He used to teach here at Yale. He said, the real question is, why do we let the train companies get away with making unsafe trolleys? And you thought we had to look at below the ideology and see that the powers of capitalism were behind the various social problems.
Sounds like a commie.
Marxist, not a commie.
The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing.
This is a line all scholars acknowledge that Socrates stole this from Taylor Swift. The last one.
My joke to you.
No.
This is a joke to you.
Who are you talking to? There's nobody here. Yeah.
This has been the Happiness Project. Interview with Philosopher King, Professor, call me Shelly, Kagan.
Don't take beauty advice from her because really, the hair bow, big mistake.